Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecotman12.blogspot.com and welcome to my full review of the Nexus 9. Now I've done extensive coverage of both the Nexus 9 and the Nexus 6 on my channel, and I've done various comparison videos as well, so you've already seen a gaming performance test, video tests, and also a screen and speaker comparison test. Well, in this video I'm going to give you my full review, and I'm not going to really cover much of old ground. I'm just going to let you know my overall opinions on this tablet. Now, you all know I start with the bad points and then the good points. What we're going to do right now is first start off with the new little aspects I've sort of like done for this channel, and that is disappointments. Now, one of the disappointments for the Nexus 9 is the speakers. Now, I've seen me compare them in the previous Nexus 6 versus Nexus 9 video, and the problem with these is that this is a device from HTC. They've given us fantastic boom sound speakers on their previous HTC One devices, which I've reviewed on the channel previously. And they are so good, those speakers, and they're on a small smartphone. Now that HTC have got a big tablet to work with, you'd think they'd like put in amazing speakers that would rival those of like 11-inch laptops or something like that. But no, in fact, they've given you speakers that you get on one of their lower-end HTC One devices, and they're not at all boom sound. These are not boom sound speakers, even though they are advertised that way. On the loudest volumes, these do distort, and they're not the clearest either. These sound more muffled in comparison to other front-facing speakers. Now, that is a big shame, and that is something I'm really disgusted by that they've actually done with this tablet. I would not expect them to do something like this, and this tablet does cost more money than the normal Nexus tablet, so you'd expect them to sort of like go all out if they're going to charge you this price point. But no, they sort of like skimped on this, and that is a place which I am really disappointed with. And my second disappointment is the build quality. Now, this is not a bad point, that's why this is not my bad aspects, is the build quality I still think is very nice. So it's definitely not a bad point at all, but it is a disappointment, another disappointment, because HTC, when we all heard HTC were going to start making a tablet for Google, a Nexus tablet, we thought they would do something like really good, make it like a HTC One but bigger, made full of metal and everything. It would really rival the iPad's design in terms of durability and also aesthetics, but instead we get a plastic design, and this back actually pushes in. I haven't experienced that with mine, but others are sort of like complaining that this back pushes in a little bit. So, I would expect better build quality from HTC. This seems more like, say, a Nexus 5 or a Nexus 7, you know, the second edition Nexus 7. This build quality seems like it actually sort of like is a sort of addition to that, or an incremental upgrade to that. It's not really raising the bar or anything like that. It looks very nice, and the only sort of like thing resembling HTC's build quality is this sort of like metal surround going around the circumference of the tablet. Apart from that, this doesn't really show any of HTC's trademark designs, although the camera protruding out but not really adding any sort of like wobble to this device when it's laid on a desk is a nice addition, a nice design sort of like choice. So those are my disappointment aspects out of the way. Now let's talk about the bad aspects. Now, one of the bad aspects, as you saw right there is some lag with this device. It is not the smoothest of devices. You've seen me currently like review the Nexus 6, which I haven't reviewed yet, but I've been covering extensively, and I have not experienced like next to no lag with that device at all. This device, I'm actually experiencing a significant amount of lag. Not all the time, I'm going to point that out, but when there is lag, it's noticeable. It's not significant like I was pointing out earlier. I think I exaggerated it a bit, but it's definitely noticeable, and I would not expect that right now. So right now it's smooth, I'm just navigating around the whole operating system and going in and out of apps, but even using Google Chrome on certain websites, it does lag. It's not really the fastest of web browsers, at least in my opinion. As you can see, you might not be able to notice this on camera, but it's now running smooth, but before it was like lagging a bit. And in other websites, it's sort of like you swipe up, but you have to wait a second and then it keeps up with you and reacts to your swipe. So I think there's like some lag right there. Second thing is the camera. Now, we're not supposed to be expecting much from tablet cameras in the first place. As far as other tablet cameras go, it's acceptable, it gets the job done, and the flashes are really quite bright, which surprised me, but, you know, it's not really the best. I don't think it's as good as people are saying out there. Outdoor video footage with it can be great, but you're going to be using it inside a lot more for video conferencing and saying, if you don't want to pull your phone out of your pocket and you're already using a tablet, you want to capture a quick photo in you know, a quick family photo, then yeah, you could use this, and this will do the job, but it's going to be pixelated, it's not going to be the best in terms of that. So yeah, and another problem, and this is a deal breaker, guys, I think this is the reason why I would say do not buy this tablet, and that is planned obsolescence. Now, everyone is aware of this. Planned obsolescence basically is a way where companies deliberately make the components of these devices not last at all. They really are not meant to, they're not designed to last, they're not supposed to last, and they're supposed to like last you for only about a year. Then they start to degrade in performance significantly, and you have no other choice but to buy an updated version of the tablet in order to get a good experience again. And that's to be expected. With smartphones, companies deliberately make them last longer. I mean, with the Nexus 6, for example, or every other smartphone, even the Xperia Z3, which I've got over here, you're meant to take out for a 2-year contract. So smartphone manufacturers are going to want these to last for about a good 2 years. Even after the first year, it will degrade in performance and stuff. The second year is where you'll really notice it. So that's the world we live in right now for smartphones. For tablets, however, no one's going to be taking out a 2-year contract with those. Hardly anyone. More people are going to go with the Wi-Fi version and stuff like that. And for them, what companies want them to do, like for example, even Apple do this as well, is when they release a new version the next year of the tablet or device, then what they're going to do is want you to purchase those. And how are they going to make you purchase those when you've already got a perfectly working tablet? By making that perfectly working tablet useless. So I say tablets, they are completely pointless to buy nowadays because their durability and lifespan is not good enough. And yeah, that pretty much goes into the point of why get a tablet. Well, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to get onto the good points. Don't worry, there are good points with this tablet. But I'm just very concerned if these tablets need to last longer in order for me to really recommend them to any of you, because otherwise you're really just like throwing money in the bin really after a while. It'll seem like that because tablets are more consumption devices than anything. And if you put the same money that you would put into a smartphone, like say the Nexus 6 or something like that, you'd get more out of your smartphone. If you want a tablet experience, I'd recommend you get a phablet device. Now, that being said, me like basically giving it a negative review so far, I will mention the good things. The good things are good for this year at least. It's got a 2K screen, absolutely beautiful screen. It's not really compared to the AMOLED screen you saw me do in the Nexus 6 versus Nexus 9 video, but this has more natural colors than the AMOLED screen. It looks beautiful, and just watching any sort of like media on this is an absolute joy, and I really do thoroughly enjoy it. It's also got the performance, which is like, as I said, for now is really good and really like a pleasure to use. Popping in and out of apps is very responsive. Even navigating the Play Store is a lot of fun to sort of like just look and search for certain apps. And more tablets optimized apps are becoming available now as well. And also, it's got really good battery life. I'm able to get practically 7-8 hours with this every single time. I didn't get those results when I first used this tablet, but as time went on, I was really getting those really good battery life results. And if I'm hardly using it in the day, like say about an hour in the day, it'll last me a week. So, battery life is very good, and the speakers, although they're not like, as I said, great as I said earlier, they are not in the bad aspects because these are still good speakers, but this is definitely not boom sound. And these are probably one of the best front-facing speakers or any type of speakers you can get on a tablet so far, with the exception of maybe the Nvidia Shield tablet. So those are practically my good and the bad points. The good points you already know. Is the tablet is all its good points are going to be its performance, its experience for using the screen for multimedia and stuff like that. I love consuming media, and this device does it great. However, the speakers, to me, I can sort of notice the muffled sound that you get from them. It's a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. I've already given this screen a clean before doing this video, but already you can see the light is sort of like shining up and showing more fingerprints on it. The build quality is very nice and comfortable to hold. This is a very nice soft touch back, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It doesn't get that dirty, I thought, either. I thought with this white colour it would get dirty very quickly, but it really doesn't. And these buttons, though, there have been some complaints about these buttons right here, but to tell you the truth, they're not too bad. You can get used to them, although it can be a bit of an inconvenience sometimes. And you can even sort of get away with holding it one-handedly. Now, you wouldn't want to do this for a long time, but you can hold it one-handed, which is really quite good for a 9-inch tablet. And overall, the design of it I really do like, and even when you put your hands over the speakers like this, there's hardly any sacrifice in sound quality. So overall, the Nexus 9 tablet I think is a great device, but keep those in mind what I said. These are not meant to last. I would not make a video and basically tell you to go buy this, and just like every other reviewer would, you need to take these things into account because these are not very good value for money anymore. They're multimedia, more like consumption devices rather than productivity devices that tablets used to be. And now that you can get phablets like this, I think it's more worthwhile if you put your money towards one of these, as you can use it as a phone, you can take it around with you anywhere you want. It's practically a mini tablet. I mean, if you compare this to the Nexus 7, for example, which had a 7-inch screen, this has a 6-inch screen. So in comparison, you're really getting a very miniature tablet here, which you can carry around with you. So overall, the Nexus 9 is a wonderful device, but it's not going to satisfy you for much longer than a year. So that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please follow me on my social networks. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Please stay tuned for my future coverage of the Nexus 6, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Take care.